Welcome to the Ridgewood Guild International Film Festival. Today we're interviewing Elsa Levitsky, who has a film, Goodnight Death, in our festival this year. I'm going to tell you something a little bit about Elsa. Elsa is a New York-based director and producer that has experience in a wide range of productions from corporate to narrative. She has worked for some of the largest independent content distributors that provide feature films and series to digital platforms, including iTunes, Netflix, and Amazon. Her most recent film, Goodnight Death, has premiered at Oscar and BAFTA qualifying festivals around the world. And Elsa, you told me that this is your New Jersey premiere.
It is. It is. I'm so excited. Thank you so much for having us.
Congratulations. We love to feature filmmakers, especially New Jersey filmmakers. So, Goodnight Death. Goodnight Death is, I would say it's horror, thriller, drama. It combines a lot of things. So tell me what inspired you to make this and how you got going making it.
Sure. So this whole Goodnight Death world started almost 7 years ago, back when I was still in college. And I was watching a show called Dead Like Me, which took the Grim Reapers and turned it into a comedy, kind of dark comedy. So it was a little bit of that and a little bit of the Twilight Zone. There was one episode in particular that talked about that personified death. It was called One for the Angels. I'll never forget it. And just the two shows together came up with Goodnight Death and gave me my lead, Charlie, who's actually an actor who was in Dead Like Me.
Okay. And is that Callum?
That's Callum Blue.
Okay. So I have another question for you. First of all, you wrote this, correct?
I did, but I also had two writers helping to polish it.
It's all about collaboration.
It is.
And you did something, I come from a marketing and distribution background, and you did something which I think is really important on any level for a film, whether it's a short film or a narrative feature that you're trying to sell somewhere. And that is get yourself some name cast, someone that some people will recognize. How did you land someone like Callum?
First, I wasn't expecting to at all. It was something I was like, I found his agent's email through IMDb Pro, and I put together a very polite email. I sent the script along, and I said that he would be unbelievable for this role. I've admired his acting since seeing him in Dead Like Me and following his career. And I think it was maybe 2 months later, after kindly, following up, his agent replied and said he's interested. He'd like to talk to you on the phone, and went from there. It was he's a wonderful person. So just really thankful for that.
So that was what you'd consider the coldest of cold pitches. You had no connection to him whatsoever. And
None.
That is the drive of a true filmmaker. Just go for it. So that is great. Yeah. Did you have anyone else on your list?
I did actually. There was as an actor. He was at the top of the list, but I did reach out to a handful of others, and I actually did hear back, but it was they don't have the time in their schedule, which is understandable. But to have my top pick get excited about the film and say he relates to Charlie, who's the character he's playing, was, that first month of right after being on the phone with him and hearing his enthusiasm for the script was like I was pinching myself the entire month. I can't believe it. And I actually saw him during our UK premiere in Cambridge for the Cambridge Film Festival. He came to see it, which was lovely. Wow, because he's lovely.
So tell me, where did you film it, and how long did it take you to film it?
Yeah. We actually filmed in New Jersey. It was I think it was South Orange, very close to Montclair, and it took us 4 days, 4 nights. It was 12 hours all night through, from I think it was 7 p.m. to 7 a.m., 4 nights. And
was he needed for all 4 days?
All 4 days, and he was a trooper. He actually flew in from the UK the day before, I believe. We did costumes, we did fittings, and then the next night, that was it.
Okay, and now I'll ask something that a lot of filmmakers are probably thinking right now, and you don't have to give the exact number, but I imagine you had to pay him or at least cover all of his expenses for when he was filming.
That's correct. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what did you learn for someone that wants to go out and make their own short? Is there something that you learned during the process that you'd like to share?
Oh, I mean, I learned so much because a lot of it felt like trial by fire.
Mhm.
It went from, we did a fundraising through Indiegogo, and after reaching out to his agent, we had to solidify the date for shooting because it involved a lot of people flying into New York, New Jersey. So once that date was locked, that was it, all hands on deck. I learned so much from it. I think maybe one of the things that stuck out for me was just believe in your team,
Mhm.
believe in the process, and just go with it because it's going to be crazy. It'll be those 4 days felt like 4 minutes, but with finding the right team to work with you, it makes it incredible. But it's everything.
And did you know everyone on the team before, or
I knew
oh,
almost everyone. There were a couple of people on the crew that I met basically the day of the first shoot, but for the most part, the key crew members, the key cast members, I had known for a long time. So.
okay. So you've done the short. People can tune into the festival to watch the short. What are your next plans? Like, what do you want to do?
Oh, I want so much. I think for the short, definitely it's meant to be a spec piece for the feature.
Mhm.
So we're actually working on rehashing the script, figuring it out, making it even better, and hopefully spending 2021 looking for investors and anyone that would be interested in being a part of the feature. But
Okay.
going in with the same cast, of course, Callum will definitely still be our lead.
That's great that he is attached. And can you give me a website where people can find information?
Absolutely. If you go to goodnightdeath.com, very easy. You'll see all of our past festivals. You'll see the teaser, the trailer.
Okay. Okay. And now something about you, Elsa. So you did kind of a horror film. And I don't want to spoil it for anyone what kind of what it ends up being, because I'm not a horror person, but I thoroughly enjoyed the movie. I thoroughly
Thank you.
enjoyed this. Tell me some of your favorite horror movies and movies in general.
Ooh, oh, yes. The horror movies first, I would have to say The Shining. I mean, I know people say it's either a thriller or a horror. I adore it. It's one of my inspirations because it is a horrifying film, but it's beautiful. Um, I mean, he takes a horror and he makes it into a work of art. So I admire that quite a bit.
Mhm.
Um, there's a Japanese horror film that's also one of my favorites. It's called Pulse. I think it was back in the 90s. I don't have the exact date, but it's one of the horror films that it isn't gruesome, it's not gory, it's not anything too much, but the atmosphere that it creates is unbelievable. Another source of inspiration for me.
Okay. And
Anything that scares me
okay.
is
What do you think of The Quiet Place? The two
oh, The
quiet,
Quiet
well,
Place.
one and two.
I would say it's hard to watch it in a theater because it's not quiet in a theater.
Yeah.
But it really well done. I mean, Emily Blunt is incredible in that
Mhm.
film. Her acting is unbelievable, and I thought it was a very creative take on a very dark subject. Crazy things happening.
Yep. Yep.
Very well done.
Keeps you on the edge of your seat,
It
which is what
does.
a good horror thriller does, and
Exactly.
which is what yours does. So I just want to congratulate you again for making this
Thank you.
short and being in our festival. I thank you for
Thank you so
that,
much.
and representing New Jersey well. And I wish you all the best in making this into a feature. Horror is
Thank you.
huge.
Thank you so much.
Okay, it's nice talking to you, Elsa.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.